Sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta at sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin.
And then just globally, do you have a sense of, like, sorry, I'm not trying to give you an ego here, but like if you look at the numbers on YouTube for like the return press conference.
She stopped the match for this. Alexandra Eala's heartbreaking embrace with a disabled fan left the Qatar Open audience speechless. But that was only the beginning. Her stunning comeback in Dubai has now left the entire tennis world in awe. Welcome back to Cordiva Tennis, your premier destination for the most electrifying, deeply human stories in professional tennis. Today, we're not talking about forehands, backhands, or rankings. We're not debating serve percentages or match stats. We're here for the moments that stop time, the moments that reach through a screen, grab your heart, and refuse to let go. At the Qatar Open, a story has emerged that has captivated the internet and touched millions worldwide. It's breathtakingly pure, devastatingly raw, and profoundly human. It centers on the Philippines' pride, the extraordinary Alexandra Eala, and a 72-year-old grandmother willing to risk everything for one burning wish. A single, magnificent hug, one that resonated across the globe. And yet, the story doesn't end there. Like a screenplay written by fate, Alexandra's redemption arc continues in Dubai with twists so incredible, you have to see them to believe them. Picture Court 3 in Doha, Qatar. The Qatar Open, a tournament known for its glittering desert skyline, fierce competition, and sweltering heat. Thousands of fans fill the stands, their cheers shaking the arena, cameras flashing, the air electric with anticipation. Amid the chaos sits a quiet figure, Elena, 72, from rural Victoria, Australia. She isn't here for glamour, networking, or photo ops. She's here for something profoundly personal. Bound to a wheelchair by a debilitating illness, she carries herself with quiet dignity. For Elena, this day is a pilgrimage, the culmination of years of struggle, pain, and sacrifice. Elena's dream is simple yet powerful: to see Alexandra Eala, the young Filipino warrior who became her beacon of hope. To Elena, Alex isn't just a tennis player. She embodies defiance, grit, and the refusal to give up, qualities Elena sees mirrored in her own daily battle. And so Elena makes a daring choice. She sells a precious heirloom, a necklace from her late husband, her last tangible connection to a lifetime of memories, just to buy a ticket to Court 3. All for a few hours in Alexandra's presence, for a chance to witness the moment that would change everything. From the first point, the match is electric. Every strike of the ball echoes like gunfire. Alexandra moves with precision and intensity, pouring everything she has into the game. The crowd is alive, but then, in a quiet moment almost missed by the cameras, something shifts as she exchanged points. Alexandra Eala's gaze drifted to the sidelines and stopped. It locked onto a frail, still figure in a wheelchair, Elena. Alex didn't know her name. She didn't know that Elena had traveled all the way from rural Victoria, Australia, or about the chronic illness, the years of silent struggle, the stretched pension, or the necklace sold to make this journey possible. And yet, the human soul speaks in ways words cannot capture. Perhaps Alex saw the way Elena leaned forward, knuckles white as bone gripping the armrests, or the tears shimmering in her eyes, a mixture of pain, hope, and sheer determination unlike anything else. In that instant, the match, the points, the rankings, they all ceased to matter. The scoreboard faded into nothing. Only Elena existed. The stadium fell into stunned silence as Alexandra stopped mid-match. She didn't move to the service line, didn't reach for her towel, didn't sip water or consult her coach. Instead, she placed her right hand deliberately over her heart, a gesture of gratitude so profound that front-row spectators wept before even realizing what was happening. Then, without hesitation, she ran, not walked, not jogged, but sprinted toward Elena. Security flinched. The chair umpire leaned forward uncertainly. The crowd held its collective breath. But Alex did not stop. She reached the wheelchair and wrapped the 72-year-old grandmother in a fierce, desperate hug. A hug that transcended cameras, generations, continents, and language. The stadium, once a roaring storm of sound, fell into a silence so complete that it felt as though a pin could drop and echo across the court. Alexandra whispered 3 words into Elena's ear. No camera captured them, but Elena has since shared them. "Thank you for coming." The silence shattered. The stadium erupted into a thunderous standing ovation, louder and more emotionally charged than any match point or trophy presentation in years. Strangers embraced. Tears flowed freely. And Elena, overwhelmed by the miracle she had sacrificed everything to witness, clung to Alex with trembling hands, holding on to a moment of pure, unfiltered human connection. A moment that carried the weight of a world. This moment went viral across every major social media platform, from Manila to Melbourne, London to Los Angeles, Tokyo to Toronto. Front pages, television segments, private chats. Everyone instinctively knew they were witnessing something extraordinary, even those who had never watched a tennis match in their lives. To grasp the full weight of this hug, we need to understand Alexandra Eala's world at that moment. February 2026. At 20 years old, she is no longer just a promising junior. She is a legitimate contender for the biggest titles in women's tennis, knocking loudly on the door of the global elite. She recently reached a career-high ranking of world number 40, the result of years of relentless work across hundreds of matches in dozens of countries. She carries the dreams of millions of Filipinos, each girl who has ever picked up a racket, imagining grand slams and glory. Every match is more than Alexandra playing. It is a nation holding its breath, praying with her, hoping with her. Coming into the Qatar Open, expectations were sky-high. After a magnificent run in Abu Dhabi, reaching the quarterfinals in singles and semifinals in doubles, Alex was playing the best tennis of her career. Then the tournament began. In the first round, she faced Teresa Valentova, a rising Czech star known for her aggressive baseline play and composure. It was a battle. Alex pushed the first set to a tiebreak, but lost it agonizingly. The second set collapsed quickly, leaving her with a crushing 6-7, 1-6 defeat, a brutal, premature exit from a tournament she had hoped to dominate. Critics were merciless. Doubts flooded social media. Can she handle the big stages? Is the weight of expectation too heavy? Most athletes, exhausted, frustrated, and disappointed, would retreat, headphones in, eyes down, walking off the court. Alexandra Eala did something entirely different. She saw Elena. She ran toward her. And that moment tells you everything you need to know about her heart, her humanity, and the kind of champion she is. Everything you need to know about the character of this young woman is captured in that hug. It wasn't a publicity stunt. It wasn't a calculated act of brand management or social media strategy. It was a profoundly human gesture. A 20-year-old professional athlete, moments after a devastating loss, looking outward, recognizing another person's pain, and choosing connection over retreat. A statement of courage, empathy, and heart that no scoreboard could ever measure. And now we arrive at the part of the story that feels like it belongs in a Hollywood screenplay. A screenwriter submitting these events might be told it's too perfect, too convenient, too inspirational to be believable. But this is real life. Life does not apologize for drama. After the whirlwind in Qatar, the loss, the hug, the viral moment with Elena, Alexandra Eala flew to Dubai for the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events of the season. She needed to reset, to breathe, to clear the noise and find the version of herself that had shown in Abu Dhabi just weeks before. And perhaps, just perhaps, that hug with Elena gave her something no coaching session, tactical analysis, or training regimen ever could. A profound emotional fuel, a reminder of why she plays, and the courage to rise again. Maybe it rekindled the primal joy that first drew her to a tennis racket. Maybe it sparked a fire in her belly, clarity in her mind, and a renewed sense of purpose. Elena may not have been physically present in Dubai, but she was there in every meaningful way, as a weight, a guide, and a reminder of what truly matters. When Alexandra stepped to the baseline against Cersei, when the pressure of match point pressed down like a physical weight, she carried with her the knowledge that a 72-year-old woman had given everything to witness her play. That was not a burden, it was a gift. A living answer to the question every athlete must confront. Why am I doing this? Alex Eala was doing it for Elena, for every person who has found light in someone else's struggle during a dark moment. And for herself, 20 years old, radiant, and only beginning to understand the magnitude of her potential. Somewhere in rural Victoria, Australia, in a small house, missing the necklace that once held decades of memories, a 72-year-old woman sat in front of a television, tears streaming as she watched every point, every swing, every moment of the young superstar she had risked everything to see. Cheering loud enough to fill the silence of an empty room, Elena's joy echoed far beyond the confines of her small house. Across all the upsets, comebacks, rivalries, and controversies that make professional tennis thrilling, the story of Alex and Elena transcends sport. It's about greatness, not just in skill, but in character, heart, and the humanity that underpins every moment of triumph. It's about presence and empathy, about how a person's humanity can shine through every interaction. It's about how suffering can coexist with hope, and how hope can survive even the deepest material losses when anchored to someone who embodies the possibility of transcendence. It's about how a single, authentic moment, a sprinting embrace on a dusty court in Doha, can ripple outward in ways neither giver nor receiver could have imagined. Above all, it's about perspective. In professional sport, athletes are taught to eliminate distraction, to focus inward, to treat every loss as a catastrophe and every opponent as an obstacle. But Alexandra Eala, at just 20 years old, chose to look outward. She saw the human being in the wheelchair and ran toward her. Many athletes twice her age never fully absorb that lesson. The stakes of the scoreboard, however real, are dwarfed by the stakes of human connection. Internalizing that truth doesn't make match points easier. It makes them easier to play with heart. As Alex continues through the Dubai Championships and the extraordinary chapters of 2026, we are reminded to watch differently, to see the player as much as the ball, to honor the courage, vulnerability, and improbable grace that underlie every point. We cheer not just for winners or break points, but for moments like the one she gave Elena, moments that transcend the scoreboard and remind us why sport matters. Somewhere in rural Victoria, in a quiet house missing the necklace that once held decades of memories, a 72-year-old woman watches every point, crying and cheering as Alex carries the weight of a nation and the memory of a hug onto the court in Dubai. This is the beauty of tennis, the beauty of sport, and exactly why we are Cortiva Tennis. Your voice matters. Join the conversation, share your thoughts, celebrate stories of kindness and courage, and witness history in the making. Moments like these remind us that the world still contains breathtaking, uncalculated, and utterly genuine human decency. Keep your heads up, hearts open, and never underestimate the power of running towards someone who needs you. This is Cortiva Tennis. We'll see you on the court. And as Alexandra Eala steps into Melbourne for her main draw debut, after an incredible year, she says it herself. It feels great. I'm super excited coming in with a surprise and a lot of excitement, especially after Abu Dhabi.
Alex, after a terrific year last year, how does it feel to be making your main draw debut in Melbourne?
It feels great. I'm super excited, coming in. Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga laban ko sa Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open.